Well, what's your favorite food? Is it masala dosa, aloo paratha, or simple rice and curry, or plain puri sabzi? Which among these foods do you like the most? Well, whatever food you consume, rice or wheat forms an important part of your diet. That is, these two are an important ingredient of your daily meal. Now, from which region do we get rice and wheat? Well, we get rice and wheat from one single region, that is the Northern Plains. Now, let us locate Northern Plains on map of India. So now this map shows the two major physical divisions of India, that is the Northern Mountains and the Northern Plains. Now, in our previous two lessons, we have already discussed about Northern Mountains in details. We know that it is a long stretch of mountain ranges consisting of several parallel chains of mountains, and it is mostly present in the northernmost and in the northeastern part of our country. Now, just below the Northern Mountains, we have the Northern Plains, or Northern Plains lie to the south of the Northern Mountains. Now, the Northern Plains are vast region of extensive flat fertile lands, and the region is drained by three major rivers, namely Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. Now, although river Indus does not flow through the Northern Plains directly, but some of its tributaries flow through this part of the Northern Plains, and we will discuss about this later on. So, we can see that a major portion of the Northern Mountains is drained by the tributaries of Indus and by the Ganga river itself, and therefore another name for Northern Mountains is Indo-Gangetic Plain, where Indo stands for river Indus and Gangetic stands for river Ganga. Well, apart from the Indo-Gangetic Plain, Northern Plains are also known as the Great Plains of India. Well, Northern Plains are one of the largest plains in the world, and it covers an approximate area of about 2,500 kilometers. If we look in this map, then we shall find that Northern Plains extend from Punjab in the west to Assam in the east, and it also covers the states of Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, a small portion of Jharkhand, and finally West Bengal. And also, as we can see here, the region is drained by three main rivers, Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. Now, the Northern Plains is a vast stretch of flat fertile land with an average elevation of about 200 meters above the mean sea level. Now, although we define Northern Plains as a large stretch of flat fertile land, but it is not uniform throughout. In fact, the Northern Plains can be subdivided into four parts based on its physical features. Let's know about it. Now, as we know, the Northern Plains is drained by three important rivers, Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. All of them originate in the Himalayas. While flowing through the mountains swiftly, the rivers erode the landform. The eroded particles like pebbles, gravel, etc. are eventually deposited at the foothills of the Himalayas. Now, here it forms a narrow belt of gravel and pebbles known as bhabar. The streams disappear under the stones. To the south of the bhabar, we can find that the streams and rivers reappear, and it forms a swampy marshy region known as Tarai, which is thickly forested and rich in wildlife. Now, as this river further flow downstream, they deposit silt and alluvium in large quantities. A vast region covered by older alluvium is known as Bhangar. whereas the newer deposits of younger alluvium is known as Khadar, which is deposited on the top of Bhangar. So, the major divisions of northern plains based on physical characteristics are Bhabar, Terai, Bhangar and Khadar. The northern plains can be also further divided into three major parts based on the rivers that drain this region. Well, the northern plains or the Great Plains of India are so large that they can be further divided into three smaller plains. They are Punjab and Haryana plain, this one, then the Ganga plain, that is the middle part, and finally the Brahmaputra plain in the extreme east. Well, we will discuss about each of these plains gradually. The first division of the northern plains that we are going to study about is the Punjab-Haryana plain. Now, this Punjab-Haryana plain is mainly drained by river Indus and its tributaries. There are 5 major tributaries of river Indus. They are Jhelum, Ravi, Satluj, Chenab and Beas. Now, out of these 3 tributaries, that is Ravi, Beas and Satluj, drains the Punjab-Haryana plain. See, we can see here that not all the tributaries but only 3 tributaries, that is Beas, Ravi and Satluj, drains the Punjab-Haryana plain. Now, these tributaries bring huge amount of silt and alluvium and makes this plain extremely fertile. So, as mentioned just now, the huge amount of silt and alluvium carried by river Indus and its tributaries makes the Punjab-Haryana plain extremely fertile and good for growing crops, especially wheat crop. And therefore, Punjab and Haryana plain can also be regarded as the wheat basket of India because of high production of wheat crop. Moving on. The second division of the northern plains is the Ganga plain. As the name suggests, the Ganga plain is drained by river Ganga and its tributaries. Now, the most important tributary of river Ganga is Yamuna. Both the rivers, that is river Yamuna and river Ganga, originates in the Himalayas and they eventually flow into the northern plains. Now, the important tributaries of Yamuna river are Chambal and Betwa, and other important tributaries of Ganga are Gomati, Ghagara, Gandak, Kosi and San. So, all these tributaries along with the Ganga river itself flows through the Ganga valley or Ganga plain. Now, while moving over the Ganga valley, they deposit huge amount of silt and alluvium in this region, thus making the Ganga plain extremely fertile. And therefore, the Ganga plain has an extremely gentle slope. The major rivers flowing through the Ganga plain takes sharp bend, thereby forming meander. Now, the huge amount of silt and alluvium carried by these rivers are eventually deposited in the Ganga plain, which makes it one of the most fertile regions of the world. So, till now we have discussed about the 2 divisions of the northern plains, that is the Punjab-Haryana plain and the Ganga plain. The last division of northern plains that we are going to discuss about is the Brahmaputra plain. And as the name suggests, the Brahmaputra plain is drained by river Brahmaputra. The river Brahmaputra originates in Tibet, China, and it flows eastwards. The river enters India through the state of Arunachal Pradesh and it then flows across a major part of Assam before flowing into the country of Bangladesh. Now, in the state of Assam, 2 important tributaries of Brahmaputra river, that is Tista and Manas joins it, and together they then drain into the country of Bangladesh. Now, at the lower course of Brahmaputra river, river Ganga joins it. That is, river Ganga joins Brahmaputra in the country of Bangladesh before flowing into the Bay of Bengal. Now, at the confluence of river Ganga and river Brahmaputra, a new river is formed, and the name of that river is river Padma. So, river Padma is formed when Ganga joins Brahmaputra at its lower course. Now, before proceeding with our lesson, let us try to answer this. We will have to name the new river that is formed by the confluence of river Ganga and Brahmaputra. Well, the options given are Indus, Padma, Yamuna and Godavari. Which of them do you think is the correct one? Well, you can't remember. Let me help you out. We just read that river Padma is the name of the new river that is formed by the confluence of river Ganga and Brahmaputra in the country of Bangladesh. So, the correct option is river Padma. Now, at the lower course of both these rivers, that is river Brahmaputra and river Ganga, their speed decreases and they branch out into several distributaries. Now, before entering into the Bay of Bengal, that is at the mouth of both these rivers, a triangular shaped plain is formed, which is known as Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta. Now, the Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta formed at the mouth of river Ganga and river Brahmaputra is the largest delta in the world. And a major portion of the Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta lies in the country of Bangladesh. Now, this delta, as I just mentioned, is a triangular shaped alluvial plain. See, it's a triangular shaped alluvial plain, and it is formed due to huge deposition of silt and alluvium at the mouth of the river before entering into a sea, that is the Bay of Bengal. Now, another name for Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta is Sundarban. Now, this Sundarban Delta or the Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta is rich in biodiversity and has varied ecosystem. Let's know about it. Well, the Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta or the Sundarbans is characterized by dense population of mangrove trees. And this region or this forest also have large number of wild animals like Royal Bengal tiger, crocodiles, turtles, etc. So, this Sundarban region is a part of northern plains. So, this brings us to the end of today's lesson on northern plains. We discussed that northern plains is an extremely fertile region which is formed by the silt and alluvium brought down by several rivers emerging from the Himalayas and flowing down the plains. The three main rivers that drain the northern plains are Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. And therefore, northern plains is also known as Indo-Gangetic plains. Since northern plains is quite fertile and has ample supply of fresh water, therefore this region is ideal for cultivation of crops, and since a large number of crops are cultivated here, therefore northern plains is also known as food bowl of India because it produces a large number of crops. So the most of the food that you eat comes from this region of northern plains. And we can also say that northern plains supports a primary and most important occupation of civilization, that is agriculture. So that's all about our discussion on northern plains. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers or to get access to our 5,000 amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million-plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubt resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, but it's rewarding too. So register for free now.